We start today's show as rookie running back Brian Robinson Jr. was the victim of a carjacking in Washington, D.C. Sunday night and was shot multiple times. The team released this statement after the shooting. It says, "We are aware that Brian Robinson Jr. was the victim of an attempted armed robbery or carjacking in Washington, D.C. He sustained non-life-threatening injuries and is currently being treated at the hospital, where team officials are on site with him. We ask that you please respect Brian's privacy at this time." After Monday's practice, head coach Ron Rivera provided an update.
Well, I can't get into the specifics of it other than to just say he's doing well. We had an opportunity to visit with him last night, which was really a relief and kind of cool because he was in a really good place. The doctors were very positive with him, and he was very positive as well. So, we're very fortunate. He's very fortunate. It's a very unfortunate situation. But he's doing well, and it'll be a matter of time before he's back out here. There is no timeline, but as I said, everything was very positive.
And this is Command Center Julie Donaldson with Logan Paulson and Santana Moss. Look, this news when it came down as head coach Ron Rivera was getting the news live as it was going out and trying to talk to all of the teammates and what was going on. And the good news is Brian Robinson says that he's going to be okay. And that there is no timetable for his to return. As Coach Rivera said, he's got to get healthy first and foremost, that being the most important. And then when he's able and cleared by doctors to get to football, he'll get to football. But this is devastating news. I mean, there was so much hope and optimism for him, and we don't know what station he may come back to when he does, Santana.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but one of the things that you can be pleased with just knowing that he's still here with us today.
Yeah.
And so I just wish that he has a speedy recovery and looking forward to seeing him back soon, man. We have so much promise, and we was looking forward to it. Like I was just telling you, man, week 1 is around the corner, and I was definitely looking forward to seeing what he can do in this league.
Yeah, and I think to me the most important thing is that, like you said, he's healthy, he's alive, things are good, and there is an opportunity for him to come back. But just for his family and his friends, the fact that he's going to make a recovery, I think, is the most important thing.
Yeah.
We don't know what this means, how long he may be out, what it means to the running back room. But I think by all means, as head coach Rivera said, Randy Jordan, he was with him, the running backs coach, that took it really hard because there was a lot of promise for him. But when he does come back, let's hope that he's electrifying and heals healthy and well. Let's get to the game, though, because the final preseason game did take place just up by 95 against the Ravens, and it was Sam Howell that got the nod the entire game. So pretty strong start for him as well as he connects with his old Tar Heel buddy, De'Ami Brown, for a real big 26-yarder, Santana.
Sam said, I got a familiar target out here. Let me put it up in there and see if he come down with it. Nice catch, De'Ami.
And again, really good job by Sam Howell, seeing the coverage and making a play to the receiver. Love that kind of maturity by the young quarterback.
They did that a lot in college together. I know De'Ami was glad when Sam was drafted. The drive would end, though, in a missed field goal. Jamin Davis, though, a surprise starter, but he makes a nice tackle here on Mike Davis, Logan.
And Ron's always said that he's a guy who needs reps, so get him some reps against a different opponent. And he's been flashing all preseason. Love to see that from that guy.
Yeah, he said he didn't care. You want me to play football? I'll play football. Still in the first, Howell showing off his arm a bit with a dart to Alex Erickson for a gain of 15, Tana.
Hey, Erickson keeps showing up, man. You just get the ball to him, and he's going to make a play.
Yeah, excellent hands, that guy. Fantastic football player.
Got to put film on game on tape if you want to be able to extend your career. Led to a field goal early second, however. Anthony Brown Jr. on his first pass of the game, and it's a 67-yard touchdown to DeMarcus Robinson.
Don't bite the cheese,
Don't
fellas.
take the double move, Tana.
Oh, my God, don't take.
And Ravens led 10-6 at the break, early third quarter. It's that same connection. Brown to Robinson for another big chunk play. You don't like that, Tana. Don't like it.
Not at all, man.
I mean, you like it as a receiver, though, I'm sure.
No doubt, but they on our side, man. They can't keep doing this, man.
Later on the same drive, Brown breaks contain and scoots in for a 6-yard touchdown run. It is a 17-6 Baltimore lead.
Yeah, it's a tough drive right there.
Commanders would respond, though. Third down, Howell does his Houdini impression, escapes the sack, and nearly gets the first down, Logan.
I mean, that fires me up, man. See the guy just competing, playing football at a high level. And again, the play's never over with this guy. And you love that. You love to see a young guy come out again in the third preseason game and give himself testament. Super fired up.
He did end up with 5 sacks on the day, as he said that was definitely one too many. Same drive after a penalty, Howell going up top to Matt Cole. Santana, a nice contested grab for the big game.
Cole say, just give me a chance. I'm trying to make this team. Throw it up to me, baby.
And it leads to this Joey Sly chip shot. 3 for 4 on field goals on the day for Sly, 17-9 game. Washington trying for another fourth quarter comeback. Howell deep middle for Mark and Michelle. You've been liking him, Logan.
Oh, I mean, love the way he's competing. I love the way he got up after the play was over and ran for a first down. Like, that gets me so fired up. Guys just competing in this third game.
Yeah, no Raven had touched him. Play was still alive. Howell once again nearly brings Washington back. Checks it to Reggie Bonifon for the 8-yard score. Initially ruled short of the goal line, but Santana, we knew all along he was in.
Hey, somebody want to see that pay dirt, man. Good job, Reggie.
I love the little pick right here, getting him in, getting an opportunity for the touchdown and way to finish here. Look at this dive.
Ooh, yeah. No, that's a TD. So Commanders looking for the tie, going for 2, but Howell's ball to Cole, broken up right there in the end zone, Logan.
Yeah, it's a tough opportunity there. Really nice, tight coverage by the Ravens. And again, would have liked to come down with that, but again, great job by the Ravens there in coverage.
Cole got to get that, though.
Would have been great to tie the game. Washington falls 17-15, so the Ravens have now won 23 straight preseason games. And afterwards, Ron Rivera spoke about the effort from the Commanders in the loss.
Very pleased with some of the guys that play. I mean, they did some really good things. It was great to see Jamin run around early on, and play with a lot of energy. I thought Dax really showed what he's capable of as not just a punt returner, but as a receiver for us. He did a couple of really good things that were very pleasing to see. But a couple of the young offensive linemen really showed well as far as they're growing, they're developing, and they put themselves in position to be guys that we got to take a long look at.
I mean, any opportunity you get to go out there and make plays, you just make the most of it and just take off running going into the year.
That one tackle you had kind of cutting across the field, is that an example of you being more confident, more sure of yourself?
That's me just trying to play fast and not doing all that extra thinking, just playing ball.
Overall, I was just super grateful for the opportunity that Coach Rivera gave me to go out there and play a whole game. It was just a great experience. Obviously, we came up short. I wish we could have played a little better, finished up some of those drives. Thought we moved the ball well, but just got to finish. And definitely just so much to learn from. That's what I'm most excited about, is playing a whole game. You get a lot of snaps and a lot of reps, and there's just a lot to learn from, and there's just a lot of things you can do to get better.
17-15, the final from Baltimore. Washington limited the Ravens' normally high-powered rushing attack to just 21 yards on the ground. The defense much improved on third down as Baltimore finished just 1 of 8 on the day. Commanders quarterback Sam Howell finished the game with 342 total yards, 280 through the air, earning him a 102.1 passer rating. Time for our mission debrief, brought to you by the Washington Times. What are the biggest takeaways? They did not get the win. Would have been great in that streak by the Ravens that they're very proud of. That really means absolutely nothing of now 23 straight games, but it was a close battle. But what is it that you take away, Logan, the biggest thing from that game?
Well, I think there was a lot of people who did themselves justice in this game. I think they really testified to themselves really well in terms of playing high-level football. And I look at Jeremy Reeves as a guy who just came out and said, this is why I deserve to be on the football team. He's in a little bit of a roster battle, and I love to see that, right? You mentioned some of the young receivers in the highlight. Michelle, great to see those guys come out and do a good job. And I think the depth of this team is in a better spot than people think at receiver, at safety. Corner's still a little bit of a question mark.
Yeah. That's the same thing I said. One of the things I loved about it, just those guys went out there and competed. You want to see a competitive team, and that's some of the things that I've been harping on for years. Like, if you give yourself a chance by competing at that fourth quarter, that last drive, or wherever it may come down to, may the best team win the game. And our team showed that regardless of who was on the field, these guys went out there and competed to the end.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Sam Howell. He came out and did an excellent job. Really competitive football player. You saw a lot of traits, vision, distributing the football, that arm talent. Again, love what he came out and showed, and I think he kind of put himself up to say, I could be the backup here in 2023.
Yeah.
That was my next question.
Sorry.
No, I mean, he comes out and Taylor Heineke from the beginning was the emergency quarterback coming in there. Of course, Carson Wentz wasn't going to get any time, but Santana, look, we saw him make some big plays. We saw him be able to take advantage of that. And for the big plays that he did have, there were a couple that were drops as well. That could have been some other big plays going to De'Ami Brown. One of them could have been easily a touchdown. But what have you seen in the ability to use his arm? And then also just kind of like if something's breaking down, not be afraid to get out and run.
I like him. I want to talk about him playing this year, but we know we can't go there. But no, honestly, I love what he's bringing, because honestly, when you saw a guy like him in college, I watched him play against my Canes. I keep talking about it, and he did some things to us. And when he got, selected to us, I was saying to myself, okay, where does he fit? Can he be a guy that we count on down the road? Can he be a guy that has the parking presence, that has the poise? Some of the things he showed us in the preseason, and that's what the preseason is for, to show you or see what you have in these guys. And he did just that. He went and showed the team and showed the world that, look, if you call my number, anytime you call it, I'm going to be ready to go.
Defense real quick here.
Yeah, I think everyone did a good job except for like those 3 plays, which is really frustrating to see, especially for guys who kind of are on the bubble. You want them to make those plays. Don't give up that big plays. Yeah, it was tough.
If you looked at the stat sheet, Washington did win, but those big plays, which the first one resulted in a touchdown, you give up the big plays, that's just what happens.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Need to limit that for sure. All right, still to come here on the show, Logan and Santana are going to go into the film room, break down the top plays from Sunday's preseason finale that you may have missed. And a little later, with the regular season on the horizon, we share our thoughts on Carson Wentz and the starters heading into Week 1. Wide receivers Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel were among the numerous inactives for Washington in Saturday's preseason finale, but it was a chance to reconnect with fellow Ohio State Buckeye and current Raven J.K. Dobbins. Both McLaurin and Dobbins were members of the 2017 Big Ten championship team that defeated Wisconsin, where McLaurin got the scoring started with an 84-yard touchdown. Now, the final game of the preseason is the opportunity for players to put their best performances on film. It's a resume tape for them for either making the roster here or somewhere else and hopefully extending their NFL careers. Now, there were plenty of big moments to highlight from this game from some of the Washington players, and to break it all down, well, we sent Logan and Santana into the film room.
Julie, thanks so much. Tanner, we're going to take a look at some things that were positives coming out of the game, and we're going to start with this young man right here, Sam Howell. I think he did an outstanding job in this game. This is one of his first completions right here to Dyami Brown, his former teammate. Let's take a quick look at it just so we can refamiliarize ourselves with it. Obviously, excellent throw. Great catch by Dyami. Love everything you see there, but let's take a little deeper dive on this thing and see what's going on. So what coverage is it, Tanner? What do you see here?
Single high man.
Single high man, right? Because we got this nice man-to-man coverage here. We got guys matched up. Love that. And then he knows, based on this look, right? You just pointed out. Let's put a circle on him, right? What do you think?
Yep.
That guy's back there by himself in center field, and he has to cover all of this grass. This concept offensively, I think, is interesting. It's a dig, and it's a shallow and a through here.
Yeah.
The ball is supposed to go to the dig, but versus single high man, this is viable because look at this space. And so I think it's an excellent job of him understanding pre-snap where to go with the football, and I think it leads to some really outstanding stuff here, obviously, right? Dyami gets this guy who's, again, he's playing with outside leverage, right? His body's on the outside of the defender, or the offender here, and it's just easy pickings, right? How easy is it to run that route versus that coverage?
Well, one of the things, he knows who's going after that, that route for him, and that's Dyami Brown. He's a guy that he's familiar with. He knows he has speed, and he's saying to himself, this guy's going to beat this guy, especially in this coverage. So he's giving this guy a chance. And that route is like, man, look, your coaches set you up for failure because you're not going to stop a guy with 4.2, 4.3
You're talking about
speed.
the Baltimore guy
No
there, right?
doubt,
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
doubt. So that guy has to be, crapping bricks right now, just knowing that I have a guy in front of me that's going to blow my doors off.
Yeah.
And Dyami did his job, ran a great route, got open, and the quarterback delivered.
And I think the thing here you see is you like his vision here. Let's take a quick look at, back up here. Let's go fast forward. Still getting used to it. There we go, right there. Look at his vision here, right?
Yeah.
His eyes start over here, right? They're looking this way. And you love that. You love that he's kind of holding the safety there. And then as the play goes on, he gets back and is able to get the football. So that shows a level of maturity there by the young man that you love to see. And again, like he's got some ability now.
He's only going to get better.
Yeah, he's only going to get better. Okay, now let's take a look at this one. This is a fire zone here, if I remember correctly. Yep, fire zone. And this is the one that he completes to Dyami Brown on the edge here. right here down at the bottom of the screen. Love that. Again, maybe the best ball of the night, obviously incomplete, but still an excellent throw. Tana, let's talk about the coverage here. What are you seeing here? What's going on?
Well, one of the things that we pointed out before we got on here, you know, talking about the safety here, he wants to take whatever you give him. So you should give this guy all you have by looking away or just holding him to the center of the field, or at least as much as you can. Because right now he's showing he's on the hash.
Yeah.
And normally when you see a guy on that hash, you say to yourself, some kind of some kind of shell, some kind of cloud, or maybe two man. Who knows? But
absolutely.
Once you get that hike of the ball, now things will pan out a little more and you'll see it a little clearer.
And I think that's a great point. And the other thing you like about this is how quickly he gets the ball up and down here, right?
Yeah.
Like that ball is, see how it doesn't take
that's
this,
like a 2-under.
It doesn't take
now.
this really high arc, right? It's like nice and flat, so the ball can get there quickly. He knows the safety's coming, but I think, like you said, he could help himself out here with a little bit, just being a little bit more disciplined with his eyes. So let's take a look at that from the end zone.
I think he did a job well enough. You know, he's a young guy, so we're not going to expect him to have that kind of, in him right now. But when it comes to getting the ball out of his hands in a timely fashion, putting it on the money, he did all that. The Army got to come down with it, just knowing that, hey, I got to take this for the team. You guys just gave me a chance to be great.
Well, look at you, the receiver, being critical of the receiver. I love it, man. They got to get it. But see this. I see that stripe pointing here. He is bringing the safety over here. Now, I agree. The Army's got to be better, 100%. But he can help himself out here. We talked a couple clips ago about Taylor Heineke keeping his eyes here, right? Keeping his eyes in the middle here to hold the safety to make that throw a little bit easier. Man, but you love what this guy showed you in the game. You love how composed he was. You love kind of the high level thinking you saw. Man, really excited to see what this guy can do moving forward. Obviously, probably not going to play a ton this year, but something to keep an eye on moving forward.
Future's bright.
Thank you, guys. We love that. And still to come here on the show, we take one more look at the highlights from the preseason finale. Plus, head coach Ron Rivera tells us why the stat sheet isn't what matters the most in the preseason.
This is the last chance that everybody in this huddle gonna look together. You feel me? Hey, don't leave this field with no regrets. Everybody that's out here, that's older, you know what it is. For the young guys, man, hey, put this on tape. This matters at the end of the day. Your tape is your resume. Let's go fly around and have fun, man. Hey, family on 3, 1, 2, 3. Bam!
Resume game indeed. Jeremy Reeves getting the gang fired up for the preseason finale. Here we go, second quarter. Long touchdown pass from Anthony Brown Jr. to DeMarcus Robinson makes it 7-3 Ravens.
Oh, my God. They took the cheese, and look what happens. 6.
I mean, that's too bad, right? Especially for Johnson. Gosh, man.
And then late in the fourth at 17-9 Ravens, Sam Howell finds Reggie Bonifant, who initially ruled out, but later we saw that was a TD all along.
Excellent pick there by Michelle, and great finish by Bonifant. Love that.
And Washington going for the tie, but Howell's pass to Matt Cole broken up. Ravens take it 17-15, and afterward, head coach Ron Rivera joined us on our post-game live show to discuss the finale.
How much will you look at the stat sheet from this one, or is that just something that you say, okay, you have to take it all within, a grain of salt a little bit?
You do. Just because I think, again, this game really wasn't about the stats as much as to me, it was really about just the grit, the heart. Because we asked those offensive linemen for the most part, they played the whole game, and they really did. John Toth, cramped up a little bit, so Martin had to go in and play a few snaps for him, but he went back out there, and then Martin had to finish the game. I liked what the tight ends did. I mean, to me, it was a gritty effort by those guys. It really was. And they gave themselves a chance.
One of the big concerns coming into this ballgame had been the third down defense. You held Baltimore to 1 for 8 on third downs conversion. They didn't even convert their first third down until late in the ball game. How happy were you with the third down defense?
I was very happy with it, but as far as that's concerned, that was more towards the coverage. We still, we got pressure, but we still didn't get the sacks, and that's one of the things that we got to continue to work on. And that is, again, being cohesive, being together, and staying disciplined in our rush lines.
Well, this Saturday marks the season debut of our new show, Command Center, Coach Commands with Ron Rivera, where I look ahead to the upcoming season with Coach. And we'll take you inside the film room where Logan and Coach Rivera talk the X's and O's for this year's team. You can watch it this Saturday, 7 p.m. on NBC4, the Washington Commanders YouTube channel, and commanders.com. Okay, so preseason is now in the books. Washington finished 0-3, but that really doesn't matter. What matters is what they do on September 11th when the Jags come to town, and then from then on. So let's just talk overall. What did you walk away from training camp, preseason? And I want to start a little bit on defense because I feel like they started out strong of camp, but then in the games we're like, wait a second, there's a few question marks here.
Yeah, I think a couple things to take away from the defense specifically. I think when you watch them, the defensive backfield has gotten a lot better, and throughout training camp, the defensive backfield, the linebackers, the defensive line played much better. I think you just want to see them bring that to the game field, right? Yeah. And according to Ron, according to the defensive coaches, they're holding a lot of what they want to be and what they want to do close to the vest. So I think that's understandable that they didn't look great in the preseason, but again, that still leaves some question marks about how that group's going to come together, specifically regarding play calling.
And Santana, third down defense, it was an issue last season, and it was an issue in the preseason minus against the Ravens, but the starters weren't out there for that as well for Washington. How big of a concern do you believe that is?
It's definitely a concern. I think one of the things that stands out to me when you're watching these guys, it's all about finishing. A lot of guys are in the place. They in the right, setting or vicinity, but you have to finish. You have to close. You have to know that this is like almost playing as if this is your last play or your last opportunity. And I think, I don't want to, get too far ahead of me. It's the preseason, so I'm going to give them that. But come week one, we can't have the same conversation.
And against the Jacksonville Jaguars, although they are revamped with a new head coach as well. Carson Wentz, what do you make of him? I mean, I think we're kind of excited to see what they're actually going to draw up because they've been holding everything close to the vest. But what can we make so far from what we've seen to anticipate him running that first team offense?
I mean, I'm really excited to see what Scott Turner does with him in terms of the play action passes and getting the football down the field and getting more game plan specific stuff in. So really excited for that week one.
That's what it all boils down to. Tana's like, let's go. Let's get that offense up and running. That's going to do it for Command Center.